Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of ESL 1 New York as the Chinese qualify to see which team will represent China. Only one team can be the victor, and so far, Newbie made very short work of Lion Gaming. Sitting there in the grand final, who will they be playing up against? We're going to find out. We have two of my favorite teams coming out of China. Vici Gaming, of course, housing one of my favorite players. Actually, it has multiple of my favorite players. Vici Gaming with Black, Ice, Fenrir, Super, the other one, as well as FY. While LGD Gaming, Yao, Faith, In July, Sylar, and MMY all here. So former teammates facing up against each other. Of course, that happens all the time in China because they just cross across every team. But yeah, into the game we go. So Lycan and Death Prophet banned out by LGD again. Vici Gaming, they're having none of that Tusker. LGD have been running it non-stop. MMY's Tusker, they will not let it through. They take out the Bat Rider as well, which means LGD Gaming gets both Centaur as well as Razor. So quick movement, initiation, and follow-up damage, burst damage as well from both those heroes, while Vici Gaming go for more of the control kind of approach, with Skywrath Mage, with Viper as well. So a lot of stability in the Viper. Obviously a Razor a great pickup against the Viper. So yeah, let's see how Viper goes in the lane. Skywrath Mage as well. Could be one of these heroes which could potentially get clutch silences off, but most of the heroes I've been seeing going up against this type of lineup has been like Rubik control. Like that's the better control up against a hero like Centaur. The Skywrath will have his work cut out for him in this game. At the same time, like, if Centaur goes Blade Mail, you could actually even a harder time. In fact, how they even kill him then? They need to have some really big hitters coming up from Vici Gaming. So far, LGD thought maybe it would be an epicenter from the SK, or at least that would be the second initiation they could look towards. While Vici Gaming banning out the extra lane supporters, the Lich as well as the Ancient Apparition. AA just removes the ability just to start throwing over these ultimates and just crippling them before the fight even begins. And the Lich makes sure you are capable of winning in the lane. So they just remove both of those guys out. So LGD, their last ban to come up. It's very difficult again to do a ban up against this type of lineup because you got like Viper and Skywrath Mage. The options are fairly open. You could look towards the offlane, ban out one of Ice's heroes. If you're worried about initiation or something that will hold you back. Might even look, you could look towards a Timbersaw. Timbersaw loves going up against Centaur and is one of Ice's favorite heroes. So that would be a potential option. But with the Viper pickup, they're going to take out the Wisp instead. So they're a little bit more concerned about the buff up. And we'll remove that option from them. The Shadow Shaman pick up by LGD. So ability to push the lanes. They got nice control during the team fights. A well-rounded lineup. A well-rounded draft coming out from LGD. As Vici Gaming now get to have their third pickup. So, okay, we've got control on the lanes. Do we try and go economy here? It'll take some time for the Centaur to come online. The Skywrath may be able to zone him out on that bottom lane unless it's run as a safe lane Centaur. Then the Razor, I'll assume to be middle lane.
10 seconds remaining.
It's obviously going to be face Shadow Shaman. But he won't be able to push the lanes early on. So technically you could still start going in for a jungle style hero. Either that or you focus on your rotations, which means you want VS or you want Rubik into the selection, and that will allow you just to smoke rotate around. Find your kills and push your advantage, because they need to have that Razor die in middle lane. They can't just let the Razor sit there and go one-on-one with a Viper. To the point where I'd almost want to switch that Viper to be played by Black on the safe lane. Get an early mech, and then look to push heavily. Make the most out of that early mech. Force team fights. Force LGD to fight you, as opposed to you wait for LGD to go rah with blink daggers as well as Centaur ultimates. But FY is taking a sweet ass time to decide this. Only 30 seconds left for his bonus time, and this is only the third pickup for him. Not sure how to approach the game. Actually, yeah, the Doombringer's still available in the pool too. Kind of forgot about him for the offlane. Ice could grab him, the fact that no one's picked him up. But then again, the Doombringer may not be the best selection in this game. Mainly because he could just get kited and zoned out. That'll be my only problem for it. Like, you'd have to really like pump in the economic battle. And they're going to go for the Rubik pickup. He's just too good up against this lineup. Like, with Centaur, Oldie, Shadow Shaman, get a lot of abilities to steal. Razor, you normally would take most of the stuff you'd want anyway. And speak of the Doombringer, he works nicely for LGD. So Centaur offlane, it's a core Venno. I'll be arriving here for VG Gaming. Now, Ice has played this hero on the offlane. We've been seeing a lot in the European scene as a mid lane solo. But with Skywrath, Rubik, and Venomancer, they could do a lot of damage up on this top. If they decide to run an aggro tri-lane and leave the Viper by himself up against the Doombringer on the bottom lane. Then it's up to the Viper to zone him out, or they just attempt to run like dual lane. So the Viper into the mid up against the Razor. I like the combination of just the Venomancer and the Viper together. With the double slows, with the Poison Sting and the Poison Attack together, when you're going up against heroes like Centaur and Doombringer, you should be able to push him back completely. So Prophet as well as Miranda, the last band's coming up. The Nature's Prophet would have allowed Ice to just run a safe lane. Prophet in the aggro tri-lane could turn into a quad lane at any point. And that'll be, take a kill, take a tower. That'll be the way that would go down. Alright, so LGD, last pickup. They need one more supporting hero here. They know they're going up against a potentially aggro tri-lane, so they're going to need something which is able to fight a little bit earlier on, but also synergizes nicely with the Shadow Shaman.
Reserve time.
Currently up against this lineup, she also needs something which can get rid of like the wards you can push with. Either that or they get greedy and they just weather the storm. Pick up a jungler, but...
Vici
Alchemist selection. You know, LGD do get a little greedy with their support, so I'm not going to take out the fact that could be a Doombringer as a jungle hero by MMY. And then you could throw Sylar onto the Alchemist on the safe lane farm. But more than likely, it'll probably just be the Doombringer being played out by Sylar. So, easy farm for him. And give that off lane. In July, we'll take the Centaur wherever he wants. Well, FY now. He's got his choice. No time left on the board, really. So he's got to make his decision quickly. One last core to come into the lineup. And it'll be a Wraith King pickup. So maybe we do get the Venomancer in the middle lane. With Super's Viper, Wraith King, Skywrath, and Rubik together. That's a fun combination. And it will be Black's Wraith King. So it'll be a core Wraith King in this game. I'm really liking the VG Gaming lineup. It could get so punished. So punished in the late game if LGD get any kind of momentum up and running. But if VG Gaming are capable of doing what they can do with this lineup, which is a lot of early game aggression, as well as push power, and they just keep fighting LGD, they could potentially just take this game hands down. But we're going to get ourselves into it after our last player, Rubik, is going to be selected. And we'll get ourselves into this matchup. Of course, we've got more action on the Dota 2 live stream coming up today. We have ESL 1, the semi-finals right now. We've got another ESL game later on tonight, where we have X Game going up against Denial. That'll be cast by Mon Capitalist. And Cena Cup will also be coming up after this matchup, where we'll follow VG Gaming in their matchup up against Lai. So that'll be happening in the Cena Cup. That game's still about 3 hours and a half away. So depending how long this goes, hey, maybe we'll transition ourselves smoothly over. And then we'll be doing the lower bracket matchup as well for Cena Cup. And I'll be jumping over into the D2CL tonight. Having some big games like Tinker going up against Na'Vi later on tonight. So good games coming all your way. Joindota.com for all the details of that one. Meanwhile, back into the game. We'll have MMY. Getting a quick scout out, see it's the fact that VG Gaming are aggressively moving up north. So searching for some opening, if they can find it.
30 seconds to battle.
But they won't. They'll just leave a sentry ward behind. This will block up the pull point. Black's going to remain in this off lane. While Fenrir and FY, they'll watch for runes. And Ice, he does get the Venomancer solo. Ring of Protection as well as 8 tangos. It's like he's trying to prepare himself for a rough ride up against the Centaur. Well, the Centaur, he's got a Stout Shield, 8 tangos, and a Healing Salve. But Ice's build, more than likely you'll be looking at high levels up in Poison Sting and Wards. And try and just push back the Centaur. Burn through the consumables of him, have him always ticking out. That's going to be the goal here. As we actually lost Ice for a moment. Interesting ward positioning too. He's actually put his own observer ward down here. That's the Radiant side ward. So trying to be an early warning flag system for when the supports might move out from the dire side jungle. Speaking of supports, it is actually going to be a Faith Alchemist, which is a little unusual considering, well, I know MMY, like, he does play a lot of Shadow Shaman, but I think I've seen more Faith games on the Shadow Shaman than anything else. Alright, so Venomancer back into the game. FY is going to get himself an Illusion Rune. This is actually more problematic for LGD than anybody else, because he's going to block up the camps. So both 30-second as well as 1-minute camps won't be spawning here, because FY is just going to control them. He potentially could try and go for a, well, I say a gank, but a dummy play with his illusions. Actually running dual lanes? Skywrath Mage, well, a little bit of a, yeah, that works. So both Skywrath as well as Venomancer will easily push Injalai out of the lane. Keep him out of experience range, but they're coming towards mid lane instead, and focusing on Sylar. Concussive Shot could fly. He is a little bit too far away in FY. He had Telekinesis level up, but never got the pickup. And because the Observer Ward from LGD is already watching that rune area. Yeah, so Ice, straight to the Poison Sting. He's going to want to tick out Injalai as often as possible. He wants his Poison Sting in on him. And Centaur does the right thing. Ooh, Sylar. FY, 8 life points as well. Dropping very, very low. Attempted gank underneath the tower by the looks of it. Aggro the creep wave. So, poor little FY will be running all the way back to base. Well, Sylar doesn't really have that luxury, but what he does have is a healing salve coming out. He wanted to get the bottle, but because he went for the Wraith Band early on, the bottle will take a little bit more time. So we need to pick up that healing salve and bring it back out to him. I want to watch this bottom lane and see just how well Injalai goes down here. Like, his CS is looking good for now. So the consumables will start to burn out once Ice gets his second level up in the Plague Ward. Because it's going to be really difficult for Injalai to get rid of. And these wards will just keep attacking him. Gotta watch Ice for the denial of these wards too. Yeah, this is where the zone out begins. Just a second level in Plague Ward is all he really requires for that to work. And he'll go in with that ring of protection. He could go into the Tranquil Boots in this lane. At the same time, it could be a Ring of Basilius. Now they're going to have a pounce. FY throws him back, super. He's got 2 points up in the poison attack this time around, and this should be the first blood. Sylar's taking away his damage, but it will not be enough in time. While MMY, he might have been hoping for a shot kill. But they saw the fact he took the Invis room because the Observer Ward's watching the top area. But first blood goes the way of Vici Gaming. MMY is waiting, concoction prep by Faith. You'll see the two of them, the Shackle's going to start. They're looking at the kill over on the Rubik. Fenrir, he's got concussive shot, but it's not really going to do much here apart from slowing down MMY a little bit. And Super can't do much either. Meanwhile up in the top lane, Black is continuously farming up. 10 for 3 up against Doombringer, 8 for 0. Yao, of course, running 2-level Devour, which means he'll win out in money at the end of the day. But the support's trying to be really active across the lanes. They got what they were searching for. They got Sylar killed off once on the Razor. That was their primary objective. They'll get their bonus money because of Ice. Like, he's here on the bottom lane at level 4. I got a funny feeling, too, he's just holding off on the Poison Sting to see if the Poison Sting would actually help him out more here, or if having a Venomous Gale would actually be better. Because there might be a potential for a gank. Speaking of which, Yao, Concussive, Orb, already with the Hellfire Blast. Black's got another one up his sleeve, but Yao's got Regeneration Aura inside of him as he's picked up a Sata. As well as having a Score Shot. But they drag Yao back, Hellfire Blast, they need more damage here. Concussive Shot still on cooldown. And Skyrise Mage is just a little bit too far away. And Yao's only got 3 Tango charges left now. But with Score Shot, he's still okay. And of course his Regeneration Aura, so yeah, there's no problem for Yao on the safe lane Doom. And it's just Vici Gaming getting up in their face. That's what this lineup is meant to do, however. Throwing the concussive shots up, keeping him watching behind him. But Fenrir's got no mana left. He just threw that concussive shot, but there's no mana. And these guys are still rotating around with no boots either. Viper's not looking too healthy in mid, but he's got Salva as well as Tango's coming out. They are really just looking to brawl in this matchup. While ISI is looking to statically push. The Centaur's gone 28 for 1 down here, so Injuline's about to crack level 6. Actually out-leveling ISI too. But this means you got Stampede, which means Initiation is available for LGD. They got Troll Trap Net, now available as well for Yao to use. Doesn't really have a mana pool to use it, but the Concoction will come in. They go for Fenrir, but Fate being picked up, throwing a long way back. He's going to end up stunning himself now. And Yao wasn't really ready for this. Hellfire Blast coming off cooldown in a moment. So the first time the Stampede is used, it's completely thwarted by a Rubik. And this is why the Rubik was picked up in that 3rd position. You know you wanted to have a hero that's capable of countering the Centaur in the early stages. And at that point, it proved it. You got the AoE stun on the secondary here, on the second support hero that was running in. And he threw back the Alchemist so far back, in fact, they just could not reach him with the concoctions. Now, ISI sides with Arcane Boots, these Venomancer wards will never stop. In July is trying to run Tranquil Boots. At least he's got 8 stick charges. Hey, that's a nice side. He can also farm up these Plague Wards when they're this far up. But ISI will not stop until this tower goes down. So the perfect thing he wants is just a perfect arc around the tower. So the creep wave will go down the second it arrives. And if Injuly ever tries to push out, he gets attacked by mass wards. And the Poison Sting just keeps trying to tick him down all the time as well. Alright, so how are we looking overall? Top net worth belong over to Viper as well as the Venomancer. Sylar being initiated on. Getting very slowed down, Fenrir. Trying to attack him, but the 2 points up in that unstable current. Fenrir, the Viper ulti. It's going to be thrown out at the same time. That orb damage, I think that's enough. I think Sylar's dead right now. He is. He was ticking out from the Viper strike. Centaur threw the ulti out. Trying to give him the ability to chase under the mid lane. But they get massively punished for it. So VG Gaming go 2-1. With the Haster in the back of the Skywrath Mage too, he might look just to, well, hit the Alchemist once and cancel the Clarity. It would be nice. They're not going to force the issue any further. Got a 1500 gold advantage going the way of VG. The experience, which was going the way of LGD, now starts to turn around a little bit more. Even try and let Face soak up some experience here in mid, but this just means the Viper gets free farm. Concoction Sun's going to come in, super. A little bit too far up. He's got Strength Thread, so it's not going to be the easiest kill in the world. TB support's coming in from the Rubik and Super. Still taking up. He's got 4 stick charges. Pick up on Fate. It'll be a double stun onto Sylar as well as MMY. The Acid Spray, nowhere near enough damage to get any kind of kill. And now FY will soak up the experience in mid lane, while ISIS continues his push to freedom. Pushing the bottom lane. These Plague Wards are everywhere. And they're keeping the catapult alive, which is probably more important. This will let them bring down the tower. And there is nothing Centaur can do about this. They don't have anyone that can actually come through and mop up all these Plague Wards. And they're level 4 as well. So they take a long time to bring down. Because of this now, ISIS is only 400 or 500 gold away from having... Oh, Sylar, can he get the pickup? No. He's only 400 or 500 gold away from having the mech. So I was talking about Viper getting the mech. In this game, Super can bypass that. He went for the Ring of Aquila wand as well as Strength Treads. And he can potentially just rush up the Aghanims if he wants to. Well, Black's managed to find his level 6 up on this top lane. Centaur ulti. They're coming in for Ice. Concoction. And it's going to fly. ISIS can lock him out though with one Plague Ward. Yep, MMY can't go any further. Now Fenrir will come in. Concussive shot and the seal. ISIS is burning inside the Acid Spray. He's going to TP out. I don't know if he's got enough. He does have enough time. LGD have no way to clean up the tree line. No way to get over the top of that. The Plaza Field's going to have a bit of a search down. They realize that no one's here anymore. Waste one last Acid Spray. But ISIS is already away to freedom, and he's going to move up towards the top lane now. Might have me a nice idea to switch the lanes up. Let Black throw the lane. That is one of Black's specialties. He knows how to keep that lane in complete control.
Dragonis, you bring sorcery?
And ISIS wants this lane out of control on top. Force the top tier 1 tower. Get the kill. Get the push up there. Take out the tower. While the rest of the players from Vici Gaming go on the hunt. In July is already moving up a long way in mid. And with the smoke movement around the side, there is a dire observer ward, but it's too late. The seal is there to pick up the throw down. And that's going to be in July. Getting a hoof stop on Fenrir, but couldn't get the double edge off in time. Rubik snaps him back with the Fey Bolt. And that will give him the last hit. And also 5.5 levels at level 6, rapidly approaching. And then Centaur's going to be even more careful with his abilities. Well, the Plague Ward wall. ISI starts prepping. He's got, well, the Gale's off cooldown in 1 second time. Well, they're just dragging the creep wave down. While the rest of VG Gaming come north. LGD are preparing themselves to fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, looks like MM1 doesn't want to fight at all. Mass Serpent wards are down here, and the Rubik will TP in. Soak up the experience and try and clean up the wards. You can at least make sure that bottom tower will be denied if they force the issue any further. MMY is trying to deny his own wards at the moment. Cheeky little devil. That's why FY is battling with the stall attack. So ISI still not forcing this top tower all the way in, but the creep waves arrive with the catapult. He just keeps these plague wards coming in closer and closer to Faith. Poking and prodding, but the Alchemist doesn't have level 6, so there's no chemical rage to protect him when the initiation happens. Where Vici Gaming, they have a Venomancer ultimate. They almost have the Meg. Doom will go over on Ice with the Hoof Stomp, and that's going to be the death of Ice. It was up a long way. They bring 4 heroes in to get that kill and commit. At this point, well, every single ultimate they had apart from, well, Sally doesn't have his. But the Alchemist went to Chemical Rage. The Doom used his, and the Centaur threw his ulti. And what do they kill? They kill a Venomancer.
Dire's top tower has been
The top
denied.
tower will also be denied up, and Super's already pushing the mid, and he is going to just rush the Aghanim Scepter. So, it's a small victory. They do bring down a high-level Venomancer, but the experience is split 4 ways. And he still bought the mech before death. So the money is still there for him. Actually, I got a funny feeling he didn't buy the mech before death. Considering his reliable gold is so low.
Dire's bottom tower
Black
is
with
under
almost
attack.
a blink dagger. When his initiation arrives, then LGD are the ones that are going to be really, really concerned. Already VG Gaming is smoking again. Coming for the hunt. And a little TI3 courier delivering. That's one little bracer. But they're coming to gank up middle lane. It's going to be just an easy looping around the backside. Is what they want to do. They need to see a little bit of vision to see what's going on. Sylar, Yao, and Faith is here, but ISI is making the wall of wards. And now Faith will reveal himself. The S-spray's already gone down. And VG Gaming, they show themselves. All 5 heroes now to bring down this tier 1 tower in the mid. As FY, what do you end up stealing? Chemical Rage. So let's see a buffed up Rubik right now as Black blinks himself up to the high ground. Yao just being stunned up for the moment. It's a Hellfire Blast in a moment. Black's got one more of these little things left before he puts his, I say puts his mana in jeopardy, but he doesn't really do that either. He's trying to force the issue against LGD. And the Blink Dagger's up on the Centaur. They're still flying out, so he's not ready to fight just yet.
Middle tower has fallen.
When VG Gaming force out this mid, Centaur's going to look for the Hallelujah Stomp. FY, he doesn't really care about that as a spray when he's able to steal Chemical Rage like this. A very high regenerating Rubik. While LGD is holding at their tier 2 town. They know the fight's about to begin and they've got to stay in range for it. In July, Stampede, Black to the front lines. They want his reincarnation to trigger out here. But they're not going to get it straight away. But the fact that Black is so low means he could just technically just jump in. Get a Hellfire Blast off, get one swing and then die. And use the slow to get the advantage. Now LGD, are they really going to force the issue? Yeah, they are. Blink Dagger from in July. Very, very quick on the initiation. Ice will coat all 5 heroes inside of his ultimate. But he's not going to have any kind of collateral on that. It was a quick gale, but it's only level 1, so it's only a slow. So LGD, they pick up 2 quick hero kills in the mid, trigger the mech, and we'll look to force the tower. With no Plague Ward wall up, it's quite easy for LG to force the high ground. Super is already standing guard. Getting closer and closer towards that very early Ags. Even Skywrath Mage bypassing the arcane boots in order to go in for the urn. Shows you that VG Gaming still just want to keep fighting. The arcane boots are on FY anyway, so they might still want to have 2. And the Skywrath Mage wants to have the mana pool more than anything else. 650 mana pool when you got a 350 ultimate? Yeah. You do your math on that one. So Ice now going to defend the tier 1 tower on top. It's the last remaining tier 1 tower on the map, like completely. And would level it up if LGD were capable of bringing it down. But they're not going to initiate. Just back up, continue to farm up. You're still running a Doombringer, and LGD know in the late game that they really should have this. So it's up to VG Gaming to make the plays. If they don't, then this battle belongs to LGD. So they're coming out to fight. As we're seeing, soon to be Blade Mail pick up from the Wraith King. Blink up, he's going to go straight onto Yao. Hellfire Blast, no! That fake Razor! VG Gaming ballsing up the attack. Reveal their positions, they leave an aggressive Observer Ward behind.
Radiant's
And
bottom
Yao
tower is under attack.
moves in with the rest of his team behind his tier 2 tower in mid. You're still got Ice trying to force the top lane, but because he's up here, it means you don't actually have the mech carrier with him. But the rest of VG Gaming is waiting for the rotation. Just one person be slightly out of position. So they attack the tier 2 tower in middle lane, keeping LGD's focus there, while in July, forcing the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. And Ice isn't keeping up with this. There's no way to quickly clean up the creep wave. But the Plague Ward wall is coming up, and now Black will move up. So it ends up being a tier 2 for a tier 2 tower trade. As the Sentry Ward's going down everywhere from VG Gaming. They're establishing dominance over the LGD jungle. Sylar, well, what was Solon? Plasma Field, perfect for a Rubik. That's basically a double nuke then. The tower's still not down yet. The tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. MMY committed mass Serpent Wars to this. So Venomance will take one. TP down the bottom lane. Super. Hex. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He doesn't have damage. He throws the ulti to MMY. And MMY is ticking out pretty quickly. Meanwhile, over inside the dire side jungle, Doom, well, he doesn't have mana for his ultimate. He's a little bit too short at the moment. And Black, he's still got Reincarnation. The Mystic Flare's going to go off. Sylar copying so much damage, even though he's stealing a little bit out. There's your Reincarnation. Yao, unable to move himself away no matter how hard he tries. He buys his Blink Dagger before death. But VG Gaming will take 3 heroes inside the dire side jungle. And they don't lose anything for it apart from what? Reincarnation? That's a great fight for them. They're searching for somebody. July's away, and Shadow Shaman's not even there. There's no one in the trees, boys. There's no one in the trees. FY would love a pickup right now. Oh, you got Ether Shock. Really, anything FY steals in this game is going to work for him. He'll TP back to base, more than likely, I would assume 4 staff. And already the staff of Wizardry. He could go for a Yule Scepter in this game as well. If you're looking for a double controller over the stampeded units, the Yule Scepter is like a perfect item. 4 staff will allow you maybe to get your other heroes out of harm's way. But a Yule Scepter just to pick up a control throw down. Gives you your movement speed to run in, where the 4 staff allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with the initiation. Pushing yourself closer to get the telekinesis. The pings are coming out from Roshan, but really, I don't know if VG Gaming can do this. The ability for a Centaur just to jump in, and also the choke point that could happen. You throw down Mass Serpent Wards in this little area here, and that becomes a very, very narrow choke point for VG Gaming to move in and out of the pit with. We're going to group up over on the Radiant side. Is this for a smoke? I'm not seeing smoke on them. The courier is coming out right now, and it's carrying the Blade Mail, as well as TP scrolls. But the Star Observer was watching the movements perfectly, and actually LGD, they're the ones that are going to go in and try and take Roshan. The Mass Serpent Ward's already down. And This is the choke point I was talking about. You've only got this small little area to move in and out of the pit. If Vici Gaming were aware of this, there could be a lot of problems for LGD, but LGD played it perfectly. The acid spray is high enough up that it's not going to get spotted from outside the pit. They leave the Aegis just sitting on the deck. It's a good thing that Wraith King's not nearby with a Blink Dagger. But with the Mass Serpent Wards, the Medallion, they don't have enough damage. They just bring down Roshan. They get a nice little advantage back. Not huge, but considering the momentum that VG Gaming want to be pushing with right now, it works. F1 is inching his way forward. He's going to find Faith pretty close here. Still got the shock available. In July jumps in. Instantly sealed up, however, while the Concoction Stun controls Rubik even more. Mystic Flare, a bring down in July. F1 backing up out of range of both the Plasma Field as well as everything else. He steals the Plasma Field, returns the damage into Sylar. He's got Feybolt in 2 seconds time. Yao is running over to at least bring him down. The Doom's over on Super. He's just tanking it as his Aghanims out Viper. Yao, he's coated up in gunk. The Plasma Field damage, it's enough to make sure the Wraith King will go down for the second time. His reincarnation was still on cooldown, so sorry to say first time. While Ice uses Plague Wards as well as Gal to control the rest of the heroes. Sylar ticking down fast, Faith with the Concoction Stun. He's looking for Fanray, but he's going to end up stunning himself now, and Super wants to pounce on this. Sylar will get the vision with the Plasma Field. The Viper Strike already goes off, so Super able to pick up one in July. Blink Dagger still remains on cooldown. These Plague Wards are causing him real problems. He can't blink into it. He'll get the double edge over on the Skywrath Mage. Then you got Ice, and Super that just survived through the entire thing. Almost the full Aghanims on Ice. Get a couple of pickups on the creep wave on the bottom lane. You've got the Viper who bought himself a full Yasha off that engagement. 305 for him. And LGD, they keep getting kited around the tree line, trying to get themselves in range, and this Blink Dagger is useless for the Centaur. Not to mention how much they commit in order to kill off that Rubik. Razor went down, I'd say rather quickly, but now with the BKB, he'll survive a little bit longer. But Black's also getting more and more farm up. Like, he had the Blade Mail for the last engagement. So he's ready to jump wherever he wants to. Super's on the way in. And dooming him just... I can understand the controlling the Viper Strike. But right now, I'd be more concerned about Ice getting his ulti off. Especially with that full Ags. So 4-star sim for the Rubik. Ice now has the full Ags. Ulti up in 21 seconds. BKB being used by Sylar. That's the full 10 seconds down. The longest cooldown timer of that BKB. And VG Gaming just start the siege. Looking towards the tier 2 tower in the mid. In July, he's got a blink option over an Ice, but there's still 1,400 line points he's got to get through. 1,400 is a hell of a lot to burn away. Especially a hero which has a lot of... Well, he throws the ulti out and he's already done his job. So if you don't kill him straight off, he's still going to do the work. Now MMY, too far. He tried to do this push on the bottom lane before, and this time around, VG Gaming aren't going to fall for it. And he got Mass Servant Wards! Oh, that's really, really critical, especially if they can win the fight in middle lane. Ice coming down. The Viper Strike already on Faith. He throws the ulti out, and he got the remaining 3 heroes of LGD. That's an Aghanims coded ultimate. Yao, he'll try and TP back, but he won't get there in time. The Viper licking his wounds back in base, but the fact you got a Rubik coming in with Mass Serpent Wards, they can take the tier 2 tower, and potentially they could look to do damage to the tier 3 tower if Rubik just holds on to him for now. With 3 heroes still down, they could just force the issue. And F1 is actually waiting for an extra pick-off. He's got this Invis rune, he's not in range of the tower. But he will drop these Mass Serpent Wards on the high ground. There she goes. Feybolt to mop up the creep wave. And both Plague Wards and Mass Serpent Wards are now battling for the VG Gaming lineup because of the Rubik. Sylar getting just ticked down bit by bit. The Viper Strike, the Plague Wards with their Poison Sting. Just that dropped him down by, well, 400, 500 life points. Sitting almost half of his normal life points. The Acid Spray is going to wear off. The Mass Serpent Wards are still down. Another Viper Strike. Jump in by Black. The Blade Mail's already been used, so they can't attack him back. Super, he was doomed up, but the mech will keep him alive. The Mystic Flare. Finally, that mech will come in. Yao able to survive with it. And Fenrir trying to battle up. They're still battling within the Mass Serpent Ward, so Yao being focused down by that, while FY is just trying to kite out whoever he possibly can, including Sylar. He stole Chemical Ray, so he'll be able to survive a little bit longer. Now he actually takes the Static Link, taking the stolen damage away from Sylar. Concoction from Faith will kill him off. Ice locked in position with the Hellfire Blast back in from Black. He doesn't have the ultimate available. Sylar, he's burning up. They force-start him away. But there's too much damage. The Mass Serpent Ward is down, but Super is just an absolute beast. Faith, he's going through the Concoction stun. He's still in range of the Mass Serpent Wards, but Black back in again. Gets the stun over in July. You need more damage. The Blade Mail is up. And that's going to be all of LGD going down, while Black on 43 life points will survive to fight another day. The buyback did come up from Ice. He's trying to keep this pressure up the middle lane. And he also considered the fact he had to be back for the rest of his team. A buyback by Viper, and then ended up dying as well. This is not exactly what Super had in mind. But he was able to catch out a good couple of kills because of that. There's a lot of buybacks being expended by VG Gaming. You're really feeling the fact they're under the pump. They need to bring down these outer towers. They need to breach the high ground. They can't just wait it out. The longer they wait, the more potential there is for LGD just to take away this game. Because their heroes will transition into the late game very, very nicely. If they can stop dying, of course. Props to F5 for his play during the last. His positioning is really damn good, causing so many problems for LGD. They want to focus the core heroes down. They want to get rid of the Venno, the Wraith, the Viper. And potentially Skywrath's Mage before he gets his combo off. But FY is forcing them to turn their attention towards him, which gives space for the cores to do their work. Alright, so back to the lanes now. So, Super. So let's got this Yasha and Ags. We need to find a little bit more space before he can get that money in. But there's no injection of money coming in from tower kills at the moment. Not yet, at least. FY is already preparing the bottom lane. Aggressive Observer Wards. To see if LGD want to try and come and contest this. There's an Observer Ward for the Dire side. It's going to flag out the fact that VG Gaming are moving in force. And LGD, well, they do TP one hero back. So Faith just used the Acid Spray. They'll leave Yao and MMY. There's 2 levels up in the Mass Serpent Wards available. So potentially, they could just try and force it. In fact, they will. TP's already coming in. No, that actually ward trap Super. Yeah, it does. He'll have to fight his way out of the Mass Serpent Wards. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Ruby's killed off the Alchemist. He was the one last person to stand there. Ice went to the tree line. Plague Ward. He needs to block up that path before they come in. And there it is. There's your block and TP out safety. So the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane will survive for LGD, as well as up on the top lane for VG Gaming. But the Mass Serpent Wards get burned by LGD, and the Alchemist dies as well on the bottom lane. So trade-off wise, VG Gaming do technically come out ahead for that. But overall trade-off wise, VG Gaming still need more than what they just got. They need to be able to win these lanes, like, by pushing it and taking out the racks. That's the only way they win lanes now. It's not just basic CS. Even though Super is getting bigger and bigger as time goes by. Oh, they're picking out in July. TP's on cooldown for the moment. So if FY and Fenrir are fast enough, they could catch him out in the trees, but 4 seconds and he's blinking in even deeper. They won't catch him there. They can't scout that far. And they're looking in the crevices, but in July will just TP out. Well, he should. Actually, he's waiting it out. He's got full life and mana. Just doesn't know he's being stalked. VG Gaming are checking every single corner. Hiding from the creep wave as well. And maybe in July, will just accidentally pop himself out, thinking there's a large amount of farm to be had. There's 3 heroes all around him at the moment. So Ice comes in first. In July is inching. He blinks a little bit deeper and closer. And there's your TP back. Spent a long time just watching. Never really doing anything. Nice little triple stack of Ancients for LGD to farm up. Acid Spray can go to work there, while FY looks like he's also stolen the Acid Spray. Fate's having a hard time just cleaning up this full ancient area. Especially when Vici Gaming are already looking to add more pressure in towards the mid. They bring in FY and Fenrir. Do you have anything extra? Just a couple of 4-stars. There's a Ghost Scepter on now on the Rubik. And this Venomancer continues to try and force the bottom lane. LGD, this time they'll be ready to fight. But the Observer Wards are still watching them. These guys went down during the last push from VG Gaming. So LGD are having no secrets from VG as they try and defend the bottom lane. In fact, they've already backed up, faced the only person who's currently in range. And all he can do is throw an acid spray. But even if he does that, it's going to come too close. And the tier 2 tower is forfeit. Mass TP's coming back from VG Gaming. They want to be ready to pounce. MMY, he's the closest one. Black, he could just blink the Hellfire Blast. He's got his level 3 ultimate, so there's no reason to hold back. Unless there's something big coming out, and that's just a Mjolnir. I say just a Mjolnir, there's still a Mjolnir. And they're picking out the fact that Roshan is also still here, just waiting to be taken. With no towers up for LGD, do we have buybacks back off cooldown yet? No. Every single Radiant player cannot buy back. So that tier 1 tower in the middle lane won't be as useful. But they're using the acid spray of the Alchemist, which is in the hands of FY. To quickly bring down Roshan. He'd be quicker. Plaster Field will scout him out. Super and Black know they're in trouble. While over on the side, they initiate on Sylar. The Viper Strike will come up. The BKB will protect for now, but Sylar's going to tick out. The Doom has gone over on Super, while Black try to man-fight up against Yao. Now Ice throws the ulti out. And the Reincarnation is the only thing that will trigger. While Roshan taken, Super with the Aegis the Immortal. And this very tanky guy, he's got Reaver Aghanims as well as Strength Threads. You can't bring him down. Again, they doom up the target, which cannot die. The Alchemist's gone all the way back to base. I say cannot die, he definitely can die. It's very difficult to bring him down. Now they come a high ground. With Doom on the sidelines. There's no Stampede available for the moment. 18 seconds on cooldown. I think there's actually a double lacquer. Oh, there's Plaster Field available. That's actually even in the Rubik. As he puts into Sylar. The Black is a little too low at the moment. The Viper Strike from Super is just trying to zone him out with the Gale into in July 2. Going to get really slowed up, but they've already brought down the tower. I'd like to see another 8 seconds until his Reincarnation is back off cooldown again. While FY stands on the front lines. Yes, he steals Unstable Concoction. Great ability, he's already channeling it now. And in July, well, he's on the sidelines. FY is going to force up himself, and he gets a double stun on Sylar and Faith. He'll lose his life for this, but Black doesn't really care. He moves forward. There goes your Reincarnation. LGD can be completely slowed up. Super with a triple kill, and he's still got the Aegis the Immortal. It's an ultra kill coming in for the Viper. Back to the world of the living. 4 staffed away, out of range of the Static Link. Now MMY is slowed up. The Viper Strike into him. He will tick out from that. It's a rampage for Super. He will, however, still die. The Razor will finally bring him down. The Plague Ward wall is still here in the base. Taking care of the creep wave as well as attacking towards the towers, while Fenrir is on the run from Yao. Level Death does some nice damage, and then 4-star, but he's going to die the Centaur. Almost. Out to safety. The Alchemist will set himself up in the middle lane, but a rampage in for the Viper. There's the money he was searching for. It's not. Is it the full heart? It's the full heart now. Recipe's flying up. You'll pick it up from the secret shop. That's VG Gaming. Looking strong. Looking strong in game number 1. Push their advantage up to 14,000 net worth. 12,000 on the experience graph. And LGD, their lineup was meant to kick in nicely into the late game. But this Doombringer, like, you got a Doombringer that's got a BKB mech and Blink Dagger for 33 minutes into the game. Considering how fast most Dooms can farm up, this is really, really slow. But Yao realized he couldn't go in for like a normal Hand of Minor style build, because if he did that, then he would never have come online to a point that he could battle up against this VG Gaming early push. And then you got Sylar, Mr. BKB, and now Plate Mail. That's all Sylar's bringing to the fight 33 minutes in. July's at least got a lot of farm up on him, so Blink, Pipe, 4-staff. It's a lot for LGD to fight up with in the engagements. They've still got the Acid Spray and the Alchemist, so he's spamming out everything he can as a support hero. Even the Shadow Shaman has himself a nice little Ogre Club sitting on the side, but it's just not enough. It's not enough to push into the advantage. And now Sylar, BKB will go. Blast got Reincarnation. In July pounces Nice Ice. They force off Mount. They got the Doom on him as well. And Nice Ice just backs the hell out while Sylar slowed up. Mystic Flare's going to bring him down. Scarlet Mage will get the kill for that one. MMY also on the run out while like a big group up of VG Gaming. There's 3 heroes around, but Supra and Black are staying the grounds now. Supra actually getting the Mjolnir effect given over to him by Black. Fenrir will take a triple kill as the Skywrath Mage. He's almost looking for an ultra kill himself, but he cannot pick it up. But as GG, VG Gaming have way too much power in the fight. The fact that Ice is just sitting there going, yep. All good, all living. First game will go to VG Gaming. And LGD will have a lot of work in game number 2 if they want to kick back and have a little bit more power than this. Because right now, well, VG Gaming, they look unbeatable. 13-3 on that Viper too. Let's see if it happens in game number 2. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this short break.